So welcome to another Happy Hippo Harmonium clip. Today we'll be looking at Ye Old Chalisa, so a version of the Hanuman Chalisa by Krishna Das. So before we get started, there's just a couple of things that you should be aware of. So my number one advice is that once you've learnt how to play it, listen to Krishna Das' song and play along, or listen to the Hanuman Chalisa, play along. Krishna Das does do it relatively quickly, so it might be a little bit tough at the start, but it is so worthwhile because it really just gives you a feel for the song. Especially with the Chalisa, because the Chalisa is a little bit different to other Kirtans in the sense that the words are always changing. And with the Chalisa, the length of the syllables within one sentence changes as well. So that makes it a little bit harder to sort of fit it to a chord progression nice and neatly. So what you need to do is play along and sing along, and it will come naturally after a while. So what I've done for you, I have put the chord progression in the description box, and also I have attached a little piece of paper or a photo of this here, and what you can see here is that I've highlighted different sections, and each color represents one chord progression, and you can see I've written high and low here. Right now that seems like it probably doesn't make much sense, but if you check it out after you've watched the video, it should clarify which lines follow which progression. So just check that out. That should be in the description box as well. The last thing I want to say is that if you have any sort of feedback or any sort of requests in terms of what Kirtan to learn next, please just give me a comment, because it really helps me just to keep motivated and also to choose, what you guys want to learn. So let's get into it. Let's learn Ye Old Chalisa. Alright, so let's have a look at the Hanuman Chalisa, one of Krishna Das's probably most popular songs, and a really nice bhajan, I guess you could call it, to sing. So this kirtan consists of 4 chords, and the chords are quite simple. A lot of the chords are played in the inverted forms, so if you don't know what an inverted form is, go check out my other video, because knowing how to invert chords is really one of the key pieces of information when you want to learn kirtans. So the Hanuman Chalisa consists of, or this version of the Hanuman Chalisa consists of a high part and a low part. So first let's have a look at the chords for the low part. And for the low part, it starts off like this. It starts off with A minor, which is A, C, E. That's one of the chords. The next chord is F, which is A, C, F. Another chord played is C major, which in this case is played G, C, E. And the final chord is G major, which is played G, B, and D. Now, what I'll do is I'll upload the lyrics of the Hanuman Chalisa, because what you'll find is that the Hanuman Chalisa, it sort of breaks down into these paragraphs, which each consist of 4 lines. And so one paragraph is sung low, and then the next paragraph is sung high, and then low, and then high, and so on. And within each paragraph, because there's 4 lines, there's sort of 4 chord progressions. So what happens is, for the low part, the first 3 progressions are the same, and then the 4th one is different. So I'll show you the first 3, or that progression for the first 3, and then I'll show you the one for the 4th part of the low part. So first it goes A minor, then to F, then to G, and then back to A minor. And that progression is played for the first 3 lines of the low part. So, and it's important to note that the chords are held for a count of 2. So, it goes like this. It goes Jaya Hanumana Gyana Guna Sagara Jayaka Pishati Uloka Ujagara Ramaduta Tulita Baladama. So those are the first three lines of the low part. Now for the fourth line of the low part, the progression goes like this. C, G, G, A minor. So why, again, remember that the chords are held for a count of 2. So that's why I said it goes C, G, and then G again, because the G is actually held for a count of 4. So you could effectively say there are 2 Gs. So if I play that for you, it goes Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama. So if I play the whole thing for you, it goes Jaya Hanumana Jnana Guna Sagara Jaya Kapishati Uloka Ujagara Ramaduta Tulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama. And that's the low part. So again, the first 3 lines of the low part are exactly the same when you consider chord progressions. The fourth one is slightly different. Now, when you then get onto the high part, again, the high part has 4 lines in it. And in this one, the first 2 are the same, the third is different, and the fourth is different yet again. So, how does it go? Well, in the high part, the chords that the way I play the chords is I play a C major, which is like this, C, E, and G, and then I play a G major, which is like this, played in an inverted form, which looks like this, B, D, and G. Then I also use chords from the low part, which are A minor, F, C, and again G. So the high part, again, all chords are held for a count of 2, and if they're held, for a count of 4, then I'll say the chord name twice. So it looks like this. The 2, remember you got the high part, and the first 2 are the same, and the first 2 lines, the chord progression goes like this: C, G, C, G. Example: Mahavira Vikrama Bajarangi Kumati Nivara Sumatike Sangi. Quite simple, actually. Then the next part, so the third line of this paragraph, goes like this. You'll recognize it because it's the same as the first 3 lines of the low part. So it goes like this: Kanchana Varana Viraja Suvesa. Exactly the same as the first 3 lines of the low part. And then the fourth part, the fourth line of the high part, is exactly the same as the fourth line of the low part. And it goes like this: Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. Played all together. Mahavira Vikrama Bajarangi Kumati Nivara Sumatike Sangi Kanchana Varana Viraja Suvesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. And what you'll find, so I've been playing, I think what they call the Chaupai. You'll find that if you're playing the Doha, so the introduction to the song, or if you're playing the end of the song, again called the Doha, then you'll find that the progression is exactly the same. So what I'll do now is I'll just play both the high parts and the low parts together. So if there's anything that you didn't understand in the video, you should be able to understand it here. So it goes like this. Jaya Hanumana Jnana Guna Sagara Jaya Kapishati Loka Ujagara Rama Dutta Tulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pavana Sukhanama Mahavira Vikrama Bajarangi Kumati Nivara Sumati Kesangi Kanchana Varana Iraja Suvesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. And that's the whole song. So I hope that helped. If you could give me some feedback in terms of, you know, what parts were confusing, or if anything was confusing, that'd be great, because it would just clarify for me what I need to look at again in terms of showing people how to play it. So we'll see you in the next video.